So I did find out some new things about Spotify.
Oh, really?
I did.
What?
Well, you know how we can't really change the order on our playlist from the app, like on the phone?
I didn't know we couldn't. I don't play with it as much as
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing with it a lot, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. And so when I decided to put it on my computer, I realized that it's really simple to click and drag and move. So you can actually do that on the PC app. So you can do it from there, and it'll actually reflect on the app on your phone, which is pretty cool. They sync together.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
When I want to organize my playlist, I just say, "Hey, Jacob." Oh. Could you not hear me? Oh.
No, I could not. I was like, what is my wife saying? She's saying something, but she needs to put the mic in her mouth, so.
I just have you organize my stuff, when it comes to music, because you're just the music genius.
I would not call it that. But I do love music.
You're the music genius in this household.
I do consume it the most, I'm sure. So, have you been using it lately enough to notice that it's been crashing a lot lately?
Yes.
For me,
it bugs me so bad.
It's been happening all the time, and I really do not understand why. I don't know if it's because I'm flipping through apps too often, or it doesn't like being with Uber Eats or with Doordash. It just, for some reason, all of a sudden stops playing for no apparent reason. Even with music.
But it crashes on me, and I'm not using it with any other apps like you are. Mm-hmm. I just have it on my phone at work, and it crashes.
It just stops playing randomly?
Yes.
Then you have to close the app, reopen it.
Or sometimes the app closes itself.
I did have that happen once last week. I was like, why did this close? This makes no sense. So I don't know if there's some compatibility issues. It's Big Brother.
It's Big Brother.
It's the NSA. They're listening into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really noticed that. And since I do use a lot of apps while I'm doing it, I'm starting to notice what does work and what doesn't work. And I think we talked about this on one of the previous podcasts, but it definitely doesn't work with podcasts while you're doing DoorDash or Uber Eats. It just automatically just stops and it doesn't replay it.
Oh yeah.
But when you do it with music, if you're just doing your favorites playlist on, or whatever playlist on it, it actually works just fine. But sometimes I'll be doing it and I'll just be doing my thing, and then all of a sudden it'll just stop. Or for some reason, Uber Eats will just all of a sudden start talking, and it'll just stop the whole thing altogether.
So is what I'm hearing is that we need to contact Uber Eats and ask for sponsorship, and we definitely don't want to call Spotify and ask for their sponsorship, because we're not necessarily shining a bright light on them right now.
Well, I think what we should do is just have fun doing a podcast and not really worry about sponsorships at this point in time. being only a few in. Yeah. I don't think we should worry about that just yet. We should just have fun, share our thoughts and opinions and feelings on stuff, and then, if it goes, it goes. I ain't tripping. I don't need a.
What did you just do?
I ain't tripping.
Oh.
I'm not tripping.
I'm asking for forgiveness.
Jesus, take the wheel. Yep. So they have some compatibility issues, and it could be because these particular apps have navigation, and that's probably where it gets a little hairy. With making sure that they work properly with other applications.
Oh, and because the voice has to override different applications, blah, blah, blah. That actually probably could be it, I bet.
Yeah. So get on it, Spotify. Get your compatibility issues with other apps that are have the
but that doesn't explain why it crashes on me when I don't have any other apps.
Well, that's true. That explains why it crashes on me, but not on you. That's a very good point. What are you doing that's different, or are you doing anything that's different?
Nothing. Maybe a text message comes in.
Then I'll just stop.
Yeah.
You give you your chime, be like, nope, sorry.
Or anytime another notification pops up on my phone, it's like, it stops and it's done. Which is stupid.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So what's been some music that you've been listening to lately? Anything new? Anything old?
No. See, here's my deal. Once I make a playlist, I listen to it over and over and over again, and I just keep adding music to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just have one playlist that I add all the music I just like.
Yeah.
And so I can
do
listen to it on random forever. It's like I have my own little radio station of the songs that I like, you know?
Yeah.
And it's random because it's not to any genre or anything. It's just like my daily radio station.
Whatever it is I like, KSM 247.
The only problem with that is I tend to get sick of songs after a while.
Oh, yeah?
And then it's hard because then I have to start over making a new playlist.
Yeah.
Of songs that I'm not sick of.
Well, I think that's the nice thing about having a playlist is that you can continually do different things with it. Like you can keep adding it onto it, or you can take away stuff. Like if it just keeps playing and you're just like, I'm really sick of this song. Like that was some of the issues I was having with Pandora.
I could do that. Oh yeah, Pandora was hard.
Yeah, like I think I liked like 3 songs from Nirvana, and it just kept playing Nirvana.
The same songs.
Like every like 2 or 3 songs, it was like another Nirvana song. And don't get me wrong, I love my Nirvana. I really do. But
it's not like they had that many songs. I mean, they had several albums, but you could get through a lot of them.
They had 4 albums, right?
Because I'm sure Pandora is playing their radio, like their
top
hits
always
off of those. So,
yeah. Yeah, they were always playing their hits. I was just hoping to just like pop up a discography real quick. Bleach, Nevermind, In Utero. Those were like the official ones that came out. So 89, 91, and 93. So when those came out.
And then Kurt Cobain. When did Kurt Cobain die?
It was short. I think it was before the release of In Utero.
That's what I thought.
I think it was like I don't know if it was like weeks or months, but I'm pretty sure it was like pretty close to the launch of In Utero, and they were getting ready to go on tour and stuff. Which is really sad. Could you imagine like how interesting like music would be if Kurt Cobain was still playing? That would be very fascinating. I think maybe that the alternative rock scene may have thrived due to it.
I don't know.
Because they were definitely like one of the biggest of the alternative rock groups at that time.
No, I don't think one.
You don't think so?
I don't think one band could do that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility, just because of how iconic they were, like, and how they were, like, basically, like, in the pop culture.
But they're iconic because of the tragedy.
Well, they were iconic before the tragedy. Like, they were on every cover of every magazine.
Well, let's put it this way.
Came out.
I didn't know who Nirvana was because I wasn't allowed to listen to the music.
Jacques.
And the only reason why I learned who Nirvana was because of Kurt Cobain's death.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that had no clue who Nirvana was until it was national news.
Well, this is true.
And so that's, I think, why they're iconic.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Not saying that their music is bad, people. I'm not dissing them. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
My mom wouldn't let me listen to whatever it was, grunge.
Yeah, I guess is that at that time that's how they were classified, was grunge. They were like, they sound grungy, so we're gonna call them grunge. So
and
that was kind of the
grungy.
hip. That was the hip term.
My
for
mom
it.
hated the grunge style.
Flannel and ripped up jeans.
I was not allowed to wear
long bleach hair.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to wear the big straight leg jeans and flannel t-shirts, but I totally did anyway.
Yeah.
But
I definitely, I think, had a few albums that, my parents probably weren't 100% cool with, but they were like, well, this isn't as bad as some other things you could listen to. And so we're going to go ahead and let you have this kind of stuff. Well, but music was like very interesting to me at that time because I remember when I was younger, and this was like just before, like I think maybe not too long after Foo Fighters' Color and the Shape came out. So I think that was that the mid-late 90s? Is that correct?
I don't know.
Foo Fighters Wiki, go! And I'm really slow at this. There's their wiki. There's their wiki page. So they were active since 94 when Color and the Shape came out. Color and the Shape, second album came out in 97. So somewhere around there, our local radio station there in Phoenix, Arizona, well, people that know the area, Peoria, Glendale area, at that time, we had a lot of rap and hip-hop stations, like a lot of them. And I was starting to get into it. I was like getting kind of excited about it. Like I was wanting to actually like listen and like explore more music, but it was really difficult because, the internet hadn't been around for that long at that time. We weren't allowed to get on the internet because the internet was bad. And so when the radio station, it was like one of the prominent hip hop stations, changed like literally overnight, and it became 101.3, 100.3 The Edge, or 103.9. And not only did it play the alternative rock scene, it also played a lot of rock music. They also played a lot of like the indie bands that were in the local area, which was really, really cool. And for those that didn't know, like my band actually got to have some air on there before they went the way of the buffalo, unfortunately. It was a really good rock station. So anyways, so I went to bed like going, I'm going to listen to rap and hip hop tomorrow. And so I set my alarm to play the radio station once it turned on. That was my alarm. And instead of it being hip hop and rap, so instead of hearing like Dr. Dre and like Warren G, why am I blanking my hip hop and
Flavor Flav
and rap at that time? No, this is not Flavor Flav's time. Big Willie, Will Smith, like a lot of his stuff was being played. LL Cool J. So I was
Puff
getting into
Daddy.
this stuff. Puff Daddy, yeah. I was getting into all this stuff. Snoop Dogg. And what happened was overnight, it went from that station to alternative rock station. I remember waking up to Everlong from the Foo Fighters. And I was like I got the tingles, like my mind was just like, what is happening right now with this awesomeness that is happening in my ears? And I just fell in love, not only with that band, but the alternative rock, or I guess at that time producers were calling active rock of the 90s, of the mid-late 90s. And I was like, this is for me. This is what I gotta listen to from now on.
That's good, because I don't think we would have got together if you listened to the hip hop.
I do listen to some hip hop and rap and R&B.
It's not that I think it's bad,
but I gotta
find
find stuff that I like. I gotta listen to a lot of stuff to find a lot of good stuff. But that's that's neither here nor there. I feel like that's
I don't like the
a
message.
lot of today's music.
I don't like the message that a lot of rap music puts out there, and how it glorifies
like domestic violence
and crime, yeah,
treatment of women,
yeah, like
drugs.
It just, that bothers me.
Yeah.
It bothers me that, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of rock and...
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of rock music. It's all about sex and drugs
right.
and rock and roll.
So, but I don't listen to that.
Right.
That's the thing. If, there was this one song by Uncle Cracker, right? It's got a good beat and a good melody and everything, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And my friends picked it for their wedding song, and I was like... Do you realize what that song is about? And he's like, well, I just love it. It's it's catchy and stuff. I go, listen to the words.
You listen to the words.
And it ruined it. He was so sad.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I'm so sorry, Ron. But it's but that's the thing. For me, if I don't resonate with the message of the song, if that message doesn't feel good to me, then I don't like it. And that's... But there are some rap songs. I won't say by who or what that or
Why
what
not?
it's about.
Tell
No.
Why?
Because it turns
Why?
into a whole political thing.
So? You're just describing music that you like. You're not setting a political statement or a stance.
It's okay. But I actually do like his rap because...
Why can't you say his name? Just say his name.
I don't even remember it.
It's something McDonald.
Yeah, now we're gonna burn in, like...
We're gonna get
troll
canceled.
hell because they're gonna, like...
No. No.
Anyway.
So what's the artist's name? I know his last name's like McDonald.
It's Chris McDonald.
Chris McDonald.
Chris McDonald, yeah.
Yeah, and he does rap. It's very centric to political stances and...
Not political, societal.
Or societal, excuse me.
Societal.
Right, well, you know what I meant.
Yeah,
I mean...
but, like, they have very triggering words and stuff, but the message is, like, it resonates with me. So that's why I like that rap song. Or, and there is some hip-hop that I like and everything that is cool, but...
Well, my question to you is, can you like a song due to its sonic? Like, the guitars or the beat or, like, the groove? Or is it, for you, it's 100% message? You're like, okay, I like how this sounds, but I have to see the lyrics right now.
So, no, I don't have to see the lyrics right now. And, like, I usually get hooked in to the beat and everything. Mm-hmm. And then once I get hooked in and I allow myself to experience, then I listen to the words.
Okay.
So
if you listen to it more than once, you want the message to be a positive message.
Well, yeah.
That's really important.
I can't always guarantee. Okay, for example, the song Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines by...
Something Thick.
Alan Thicke?
Alan Thicke is his dad.
I don't like Alan Thicke, but that's just...
Anyway.
He's not my favorite,
by
but...
Pharrell and the Thick guy.
Pharrell Williams?
Yeah, the
like
Blurred
Happy
Lines. Okay, so, like, the beat, I loved it. And then I listened to the message and I was like, what the hell is this? It is an awful song. It creates I was... Like, the feminist in me was like, what the hell? This is totally promoting rape culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's normalizing. It's, you know what I mean? And it's like sitting there with, it just bothered me so bad.
Which song is that one? Is that the one that had, like the dirty music video along with it?
Yeah,
had, like,
girls
two
dancing
versions.
around topless, yeah.
Yeah, so you had, like, the version that you could watch normally, and then the other one is...
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, okay, I remember the song.
That's the song
where he sings with his falsetto, which...
I don't know.
There's somebody in the background going...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the song he sang at the MVAs with Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, that debacle.
Yeah. See, that's what bothers me. And people are like, oh, it's sex positive, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not sex positive.
No, it's not. Okay.
It's not.
Okay. But that's important to you, is having a certain message with your music as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
But see, and if I can't understand the words, I think that's sometimes why I have a hard time with hip-hop and rap, because I don't always understand the words. And because the words... Because
of the speed of the rap, or it's, like, mumbled, or...
Yeah, or they have
Or they're screaming it.
Whatever. I don't know. But if I can't understand the words or make out the words, it's harder for me to like the song, to be where I want to... Like, I will seek it out to hear it.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Like, if I don't know the words and all that stuff, then I won't seek it out, like, to purchase it or to listen to it on a regular basis.
Gotcha. Where I'm weird. I'm not, I wouldn't say 100% opposite in that direction, but it doesn't necessarily have to have, like, a certain message attached to it. If I just like how it sounds, like the melodics... or the melodies, excuse me. Did I say melodics? That doesn't make any sense. If I really enjoy the melody, if I really enjoy the groove or like the beat, or like maybe I really like the sounds of the guitars, or the bass line is like super slick and like super slappy or something. Like for me, it doesn't necessarily always have to be like one thing or the other. And so even though I may listen to a song and it might not have the most positive message, you know, if I like it, I might want to listen to it every once in a while. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm old-fashioned.
But it's not something I do, like, I would listen to, like, on a daily basis, like, all the time. But it would probably be in my playlist.
The thing that concerns me is, like, when you're listening to things with a beat, it becomes a hypnotic rhythm, right? Mm-hmm. So your body and your mind are being put into a state of hypnosis.
Like hypnotic suggestion
in a suggestive state. That's what, like, music and all that stuff evokes. And so, like, if you're listening to that, you know, with beats and all that stuff, and you're consuming those words and that message, that could be so detrimental to you.
I agree, it can.
Like,
which
but
is
it
why,
can
like,
also be very healing. But it's what you choose, and so that's why I think the words are so important to me, because music does affect me very deeply, right? Like, I can listen to a song that was popular when my dad died. It
evokes that emotion. It brings
and
back that memory.
If it comes on, or if and it pops on, it's not like a very popular song. It was back in the day, but it's not played very much now. But if it comes on, like, I will literally start to cry because it evokes that emotion, but the message of it, like, had an impact on me on that moment. Like Wallflowers, the album we talked about, like, I was going through some crazy emotional teenage drama turmoil when I listened to that. And I mean, it was heavy duty stuff, and I listened to that album, and, like, that actually was one album that, like, if I started going too dark or too deep, I would just put it on and sing to it. So that kind of album was kind of my saving grace.
And it's pretty mellow. Like, it's like,
yeah, like,
I mean,
it's
they definitely rock out a lot more than Wallflower's other albums. Like, it rocks out a little bit more. Like, but
it had some very melancholy music on there too, and I loved it. Like, and it regulated me when, like, so that I remember that album. I remember the words of that album. There's another album by Jan Arden, and she's a songwriter, but she, I love her album, Living Under June. Such a good album, but, like, it has the song Insensitive. That's the one song that was popular on this album because it was in the movie Bed of Roses. So that's how I, like, got introduced to her, was through the movie. Okay. Right? And then I bought the album, and I know every word of every song on that album. Love it. You know, so there's, like, because of what I was going through and how the music regulates me, and the words are so important in that. Yeah. So important. Because that's part of the message that you're receiving, that you're assimilating in that hypnotic rhythm, you know? So
whenever I listen to anything from the Wallflower second album, like, I think of one of my buddies back in high school. Like, he was really struggling with life, and, you know, I was really trying hard to be a really good friend, and we were really good friends for quite a while. But I remember one weekend, his mother came to me and says, you know, Jacob, like, I just need to know something. Like, I need your help. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever I can do. And she's like, I just need you to be over, like, this whole weekend if your mom's okay with it. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? And she's like, well, you know, we're sending, you know, my son to the boys' ranch, you know, up in Utah. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, so they're going to come early in the morning and pick him up, you know, on Sunday morning. So can you be over here Friday night and Saturday night and just hang out with them and have a good time? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And this is around the same time, like around 2000, 2001, when Diablo 2 came out. And so we were just playing Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction until I think we had stayed up like almost 3 days straight. And then they came, they knocked on the door, you know, they came inside, and They basically escorted him to the van, and then I hadn't seen him since or talked to him since.
Serious?
Yeah.
Why did they send him away?
I think he was struggling with like drugs and some other things. He wasn't doing very well in school. Like he was just struggling with life, But I guess going back to what we were originally talking about before I kind of went off on memory lane here. Yeah, like for me, like music is different. Like I do listen to the words and I kind of get the gist of it, but lyrics aren't always like what get me going in it the first time, and it doesn't always I'm sure there's plenty of Foo Fighters songs that I don't know the lyrics to, and I haven't read them yet, and I really don't know what they're about. But for me, it just needs to evoke an emotion for me, and especially I listen to music according to my emotions, and so when I listen to upbeat and exciting and happy things or seemingly happy things, I'll listen to that kind of music. And when I'm like really upset or frustrated or angry, that's when I start getting to stuff like Tool, and start like listening to like darker stuff, so I can just like let me ride this emotion and get it out. And then I feel like I can go about my day and not feel like I have to hate everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't always.
Have you had to do that a lot lately?
No.
Okay, good.
No. I mean, and in this recent time I went through Tool's discography, it was just for me to like kind of know, which albums I like, which songs I liked, and so I could kind of like share it a little bit more, I guess, intelligently on the podcast. I kind of want to, sound like I kind of can talk about what I'm thinking and think what I'm saying and saying what I'm thinking. So it makes sense. And so that's why I was listening at that time. But no, it doesn't. Like, for me, it takes a bit. Like, I feel like I'm a fairly patient person. But, when I do
No. You are an extremely patient person.
I'm an extremely patient person.
Because that's the only type of person that could have married me.
Oh, well, thank you, sweetie. But yeah, but that definitely helps me to ride the wave productively, like kind of like a surfer, will paddle out and find the right wave, and they'll paddle to the point where they can like get up on their board, and then the wave starts to crest and like actually move them. That's kind of how I ride my emotions with music. Music is like my surfboard, the surfboard of sonics. And I just ride that stuff out. I almost cursed. I apologize. I'm trying to keep it as family friendly as I possibly can. Am I just not making any sense? Am I just like being like silly and nonsensical?
Like that whole surfer analogy came up, and I was like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
What is happening? What is happening?"
Well, okay. So we earlier this weekend we caught on the subject of pop music. What are remember what we talked about?
Yes.
Like, it started with the subject of Shawn Mendez, but
yes.
Is that it? Just yes?
I'm still recalling the conversation.
Shawn Mendez.
So yeah, it's like they have some really good. I usually like everybody's first album, and that's the album I usually fall in love with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking all of my favorite artists that I listen to, like Matchbox 20, their first album, still my favorite out of all of them. Still. John Mayer, first album, still my favorite out of all of them. However, the one with Daughters is a close second. But like,
was that Squares?
Squares was his first, yeah.
Oh, the Squares was
Room
his
for
first.
Squares.
And then Gravity was. Here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up. This is supposed to be your job.
I already told you I suck at that.
I'm gonna need you to pull up stuff.
You're just lucky I'm here, Bubs.
I'm just hanging out here, just talking about fun things.
But Mark Broussard's first album, Karen Crow. Oh, absolutely.
That was his first album. He actually, like, it wasn't like a self-title. Kind of like Room for Squares. Like, it wasn't like John Mayer's self-title album.
Right.
You know?
No, Mark Broussard's Karen Crow.
Which is a very solid album.
That's, oh my gosh. Still, to this day, one of my favorites. And then he started getting popular and stuff. And he had a couple producers on one. And, like, it's still good because it's Mark Broussard, but it's still, it's
overly produced, huh?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So, but he's self-produced quite a few, and I just, yeah, I think that's why I like Mark Broussard. Because he's, like, not super huge. You know what I mean?
So he's almost, like, it almost feels like an independent, like,
for
artist.
Sure. He doesn't do nationwide tours. He just does the East Coast.
Oh yeah, I was so sad about that. But maybe one time we can maybe plan a trip and go out and like, see him out east or something, because that would be super fun. I think that'd be a really great experience, not only for you but for me too, because I really like his music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've converted you.
You've converted me to to adult contemporary. I enjoy it.
He is not adult contemporary.
He's adult contemporary.
He is blues, gospel.
Well,
kind of.
That's his background, yes, but
that was Karen Crow.
Yeah.
A lot of Karen Crow.
And everything after that has been much more pop centric. Like it's been produced to the point where it's more of like a pop album.
Yeah.
They're more pop albums.
But so Mark Broussard, another Karen Crow, one of like an album that brings up like intense emotions, because it was like my favorite album in my 20s, and then after my first divorce, my first and only, yeah. But after my first divorce, I listened to that album a lot.
Yeah.
And so like there was a whole nother type of emotion tied to it, and so it's a very complex album for me to sit and listen to. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now I want to go listen to it.
Yeah, I would definitely say his first album was definitely more of that blues, like deep South soul, like kind of stuff. But everything since then, it's been more pop driven, and that's just like, kind of what happens. Like when you get popular now, you know, and there's a lot more money coming at you. There's going to be a lot more like an army of people that's going to want to produce and help write your stuff to make it the most pleasing to everyone.
Oh yeah.
But it looks like he's been charted twice in the Hot Adult Top 40 tracks since his EP release, actually, which is actually pretty awesome. That's baller. You don't hear a lot of like EPs like getting like super huge unless it's like more like in like electronica, drum and bass kind of stuff. You don't really hear that in like stuff like adult contemporary and
I actually really liked his EP. There's a few songs on there that are very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. So his genres are soul, rock, pop, swamp pop.
Swamp pop, baby.
Swamp pop.
Booyah!
That's what Wikipedia is saying. I would just, he's definitely, has a lot of like blues and funk and R&B and stuff and a lot of pop, but I would put him under adult
We need to do a search for swamp
me.
Pop as a genre.
Like, what is that? What's
I
swamp
know.
pop? Hold on.
My
It looks like there's swamp pop is a music genre indigenous to the Acadian region of South Louisiana and an adjoining section of Southeast Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Created in the 1950s by young Cajuns and Creoles.
Babe, they have a swamp pop playlist on Spotify.
Oh my goodness.
I am so listening to this. I have a feeling I'm gonna find some new artists.
We seriously need to stop creating new genres. Like, and I know it's saying that it was created in the 1950s, but give me a break. Let's stop making so many genres. Let's like all agree to have only like maybe 10 to 15 like major genres, and then obviously you can put your sub genres in there.
Okay, swamp pop is a subgenre of pop.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, Mark Broussard would probably be under adult contemporary.
No.
Yeah.
No, he is
along
Swamp
with
Pop.
John Mayer.
Swamp Pop.
Along.
This is my new favorite thing. I don't even think you understand how excited I am about this right now.
We discovered a new genre. It's called Swamp Pop.
I am
funny.
so excited for this.
All right, well, let's get back to Shawn Mendez because that's the most recent discography I've actually like gone through several times now, which I really, really enjoyed. So let's talk a little bit about Shawn Mendez. So Shawn Mendez, I'm just going to pop up his Wikipedia page just so that we can, I think I got the right person. Just kidding. So he's been active since 2013. Let's see. I think he had the most hits or like the most Grammys, like the youngest person with the most Grammys or something like that. His album.
That makes sense.
His self-titled third studio album. The album's #1 debut in the U.S. made Mendez the third youngest artist to achieve 3 #1 albums in 2019.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy.
That makes sense. Because in 2013, it was the year before I met you.
Yeah.
And I remember he came out and that was like his...
Yep, his first album was Handwritten in 2015.
I was in Surprise, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. That's right, good old Surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really enjoyed, like, as an album, I really enjoyed Handwritten. Like, I think I probably like that one probably the best.
What songs does that one have on it?
So, Handwritten... It had hits such as... Life of the Party, Something Big, Stitches, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which actually wasn't one of my favorites, but definitely Stitches was definitely like his hit for sure. Yeah. On that album. And what I really liked about that album is that they really wanted to focus and cater to his kind of folk pop, folk rock, acoustic stuff, which was really good. I really liked that they kept that. But you definitely could see a difference going from album 1 Handwritten to a second album. Illuminate. It has been a few weeks since I looked at it, but I would probably definitely put Handwritten and Illuminate definitely like on par with each other, like especially how many hits they had on each of those. I thought they were really good. And collectively as albums, I felt like they were pretty solid. It wasn't until his self-title and Wonder that I was just kind of like, okay, we're definitely going away from his, what?
Scoot closer.
Why?
I need to put my feet up.
Why do you need to put... I've seriously gave you the most comfortable chair in the room, and you need to be more comfortable?
Because my legs are hanging in it. Like,
I can't really get... I mean, unless you, like, scoot the table closer.
No, I'm fine.
I didn't really want to be that close to the table.
Well, can I
I'm a fat man in front of a little table. No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
No, I was going to recline it.
No, don't recline it, because then I can't keep my legs under the table.
Well,
we're trying this new setup. I don't know if we're gonna keep it or if we're gonna like it or whatever, but you do look very comfortable in that chair.
Dude, if I'm not comfortable, there's no way I'm doing this. Because they get way too long. I am not sitting in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, like definitely sitting down for a couple hours and in the same chair and talking to the same person. Yeah,
seriously.
I get it. You gotta be comfy. I'm just looking at. I'm just looking at you in the view of the camera, and you're just like, I'm comfy. I'm comfy.
Sup, yos.
Okay. So I mean, you've listened to all these albums, haven't you?
No.
We really need to start listening to the same album so that we can really talk about them.
So busy though.
No, I understand.
We have had a really hard, shitty week.
I know.
And my mind has been elsewhere.
It's okay.
But now that I have a little bit of brain space freed up,
Okay.
I will put more energy and effort into listening to the music that we are supposed to be talking about. I was like, maybe
You
I
honestly
can just get
don't have
by
to.
with knowing his hits.
Hey, you've been a great co-host, and I do appreciate you.
As I ramble on about how music evokes emotion.
Yes, absolutely. That stuff is important. So, I really feel that they lost the folk rock that he kind of, or the folk pop stuff, like from his first and second albums. Like, I feel like they kind of went away from that with his new self-titled and this fourth album, Wonder. And I didn't like him as much. Like, I feel like they purposefully tried to go really weird.
Really?
Like, kind of the second one where it kind of like started to bring some like electronics and stuff into it, and then they kind of went away from that, like in the self-title, and then they kind of brought it all back in Wonder again. So I was just like, okay, this is just silliness. Or maybe I'm thinking of I think I'm thinking of the Wallflowers. Never mind. Please erase that. Edit.
Wait,
Cut,
what?
paste, rewind. I started blurring the albums of the Wallflowers. I apologize. Because they kind of got weird with some of their stuff, and they started entering a lot more like electronics and.
Did they?
Yeah, and I didn't like it. Well, shoot, since we're just kind of naturally going into it, let's just talk about the Wallflowers again. I think that's a good idea. Although
But I haven't listened to any of their other albums other than
yeah,
their first one. Like, legitimately, I think that's the only album I will ever listen to from them.
the second one with One Headlights and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a solid album. Like, and here's what
I don't even
like
know
we kind of
what
get
their
down
other
to this,
albums
and
are.
this is kind of why we started talking about Shawn Mendez, is because once your music goes like you start selling millions of copies like of your albums and like selling out like arenas and stuff like that, they're going to want to put as many hands as possible on your projects. And that's what I don't understand about the music industry.
Oh, I do.
I understand like the logics to it, but I don't understand the art of it, because that's
It's
what
not
music
art,
is.
though, at that point.
Well, exactly. If
Because
everybody else is writing your songs, or basically cannibalizing like the songs you originally wrote to the point where they're not even your songs anymore,
But here's the thing.
then
Everybody,
is it music? Is it art?
No, like, is what happens is everybody wants their hand on you've got something, you're popular, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to do something with the music so they can take credit and all cash in on you, basically.
Yeah.
It is a very parasitical industry.
Yeah.
That people are cashing in on the talent of others and
Well, I
taking
believe it.
advantage.
And you can see it in the art.
Yeah.
Like, you really can. Like, that's why it's really interesting when these bands, like, they come out with their first album. It's kind of a little bit rougher, but it's definitely like their art. You know, it's their guitar sounds, it's their bass sounds, their drum sounds. And all of a sudden you go from like album 1 to album 2, which they do kind of still sound a bit like each other, but definitely like a lot of the sonics of the guitars and bass and drums and stuff is all cleaned up. You know, it's much more crisp and like clear, and you can hear everything. But you can tell that it's still their songs. It's just better produced. And then by the time you get to album 3, because at that point in time they're like selling out arenas, they're selling millions of copies of their songs. You know, they're selling merch like hand over fist. That by the time they get to the third album, they've been on tour for a year or two all over across America, all across the world, in Europe and Germany. And by the time they get back, they just, you know, like they're still writing songs, they're still trying to demo stuff and bring it out. But now by that time, now they have like 3 or 4 different producers. They have like 5 or 6 people that are writing songs along with them and adding it to their collection of songs. And pretty soon, a lot of the songs that they originally wrote don't end up like on the album. They end up getting rewritten and just like put on there. And it's really sad, because then where did the art like fade away at? Was it somewhere between, because there's just so many people now that are going to be involved with the project, And so at some point you kind of decide, okay, well, is this really the art anymore? Or is it just becomes a machine that you just input X, Y, and Z with lyrics, 7, 8, and 9.
Maybe it just becomes a group art project at that point.
Well, it does, but it doesn't resemble, a lot of times it doesn't resemble like the original art of these creators. Like going from those first, second, and third albums, you can definitely see a very huge shift and change. Like going back to how, like we were talking about Creed, by the time they got to their fourth, fifth album, they were a completely different band. They were more like a metal band than like a rock band. And sonically very different. Same thing that happened with Tool, where they had like all their albums like lead up to this precipice where, Fear Inoculum came out, and it was just sonically very dead to me. Like everything was so processed and so compressed to the point that it wasn't even music anymore to me. But I'm also a purist. Like I want to hear the doom, doom, doom of the drums. I want to hear the like I want to hear the punches of that kick drum. I want to hear the sonics of the guitar when you ring out like a full chord. I want to be able to hear the strings. I want to be able to hear that they're recording the microphone in front of that amplifier speaker. That's what I want to hear. That's the stuff that I'm just like, yes. Because I feel like in this transcended experience when I am listening to the music, like I'm almost becoming a part of the music when I'm listening to it. But when I hear stuff like the last album of Tool, Fear Inoculum, or if I listen to the last album of Creed or whatever, some of these bands, like it's completely like dead, like as far as like I'm concerned. Like it's songs, it's music, but it doesn't feel like it has life in it. Maybe I'm getting a little off the subject here.
No,
but
I'm sorry. I just got distracted by how cute you are when you get so passionate.
I'm very passionate about music.
You're like getting all of it, and I'm like, dude, if I didn't love this boy and think he's so cute when he gets passionate, I'd think he's being a total douche because he's like,
yeah, well,
pulling out his music knowledge on me, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying right now, but they're cute.
Well, I guess the bottom line is, and this is kind of the thing about pop music, like especially if they find a cute girl that has a decent voice, yeah, they're gonna give them a record deal. They're gonna have an army of people that are gonna write all the songs. Maybe they become a part of like the lyrical process or something, or maybe they add something in with the music or whatever. But even Justin Timberlake, have you ever seen how many people were on Justin Timberlake's last album that they actually credit?
No.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 like just like writers like that wrote the same songs together.
I think the last song of JT's that I actually like, as far as his recent.
I just realized your microphone is not pointed at your face. I apologize.
Oh, sorry. But like the last song was the song you did for Trolls.
The cover of True Colors.
No. Can't Stop the Feeling.
Oh, that is a great song.
Yeah, but that's the last song I know of his that, like, I don't know any of his new stuff.
Yeah.
Because Trolls was a long time ago. Several years ago.
Yeah.
Long enough for them to make a Trolls 2 and for that to have come out and now is out of theaters. So.
Yeah.
Did you IMDb it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
No, I was just looking at his studio albums.
Are you on Spotify?
No, I'm on Wikipedia. I guess Man of the Woods was his last release in 2018. But like he's done a lot of like other songs with other people and stuff like that, which is really cool. But yeah, like that's the thing where I think we're missing a lot of like the artist's actual uniqueness is getting like wrung out and like rolled out. Like it's just getting completely squandered and like pushed out of it to the point where it's just like so Rick Beato is a producer, and he's also a YouTube person. Personality. Yeah, you can call it personality for sure. He's definitely. I mean, I don't know if I'd call him a character, but he's definitely a personality for sure. And I love watching his stuff.
Influencer.
I would definitely say so. I bet he's sold quite a few thousand copies of his book, just on music and music, stuff. Started fumbling over my words a little bit there, but anyways. There's a story that he shares about a group called I9. You remember when I told you about that group and I sent you their album stuff so you could listen to it? Mm-hmm. And I let you listen to like their original stuff that they put out, night and day. So anyways, those that don't know the story, I'm just gonna like kind of like, you can obviously go to Rick Beato's website, or you can go to Rick Beato's YouTube, and you can actually watch the video where he talks about it. But this group called I9 like really impressed him. He watched them play
all
live.
I can think of is the government form.
That's a good point. Don't forget to fill out your I-9s and W-2s for your employment.
See, like that's what I hear. Like that's what pops into my head.
But that was their group name, and so they went in and they had all these songs. And Rick Beato got a part of it, and like they started demoing stuff together. And when they got to the point where they got actually signed, they were signed on a record label. They got into the studio, and Rick Beato was supposed to be a part of the whole process because he's a songwriter, producer, and he had a contract with them. And basically, the guys that signed them and got them on board, they basically slowly started pushing them out of the picture until they got them cut out of it completely. And they took all their songs, they completely bastardized them, and they spat out a bunch of like pop songs.
That's sad.
Yeah, isn't that a sad story?
That is.
And I think they're still playing today. I think they're playing under the name Heavyweigh's the King, which ironically was the name of their first album. But they brought out an EP, which they gave out for free. They said, hey, if anybody wants this, well, it's pay what you want. I don't remember what the acronym is. All you cool people out there probably know it. And I actually got it and downloaded it. And yeah, night and day. Definitely a completely different feel, different vibe, different way of recording things. And it's just really sad because I feel like they definitely could have gone a lot farther than they actually did. But because of that bad experience that they had with the record label and the recording process and basically taking all their songs and changing it, rewriting everything, they just didn't want to be involved with the industry anymore. And they ended up just going back home, breaking up, and getting jobs. I mean, they ended up coming back together and releasing an EP, which is pretty awesome. But stuff like that happens all the time. And that's kind of what I feel is wrong with the industry, because it takes the thing that made those artists unique, and they basically run them through the process of all of this music writing and having a big team, and get to the point where it just spits out something that's completely different than what they even started with, which is sad.
Yeah.
But pop music reigns. Like, it's still going to be like, pop music's going to be at the top of the charts. These pop artists, these popular pop artists are always going to be on top of the charts. They're always going to come out with new music because they have an army of people writing while they're on tour. So they get to the studio, they got their songs ready to go. All they got to do is sing them. I'm sure there's some people that, have the creative process and have the ability to be a part of it and stuff like that, but not everybody. Those record executives want to have a stranglehold on the art so that when they bring it out, they know it's going to sell because it sounds like this other person who's super successful, or this other person that's super successful. And that's what happens to these pop artists, and that's what sucks, in my opinion, because I feel like Shawn Mendez's albums and songwriting could have been even more incredible if they relied a lot more on the artists and their unique, writing capabilities. Because that's what got them there in the first place. But it's like, as soon as they get to that point, that first success, they're like, okay, now we're going to write everything for you. All you got to do is tour. But anyways, maybe that's my conspiracy theory hat that I'm wearing.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Sometimes I'm like, man, he's talking like he knows the industry very intimately.
I don't know the industry intimately, but I have listened to stories and I have, watched a lot of YouTube videos on the industry. So I kind of sound smart on some things.
Yeah, and we all know that everything that's on the internet is completely reputable.
Oh, of course it is. Come on now. But like the consolidation of the media companies back in the late 90s, early 2000s with Bill Clinton doing that executive order to allow companies like Disney, Viacom. Like this is also another video I watched on Rick Beato's website. But apparently there was like 60 or 70 different media companies out there that were producing like music during that time. Mm-hmm. And what happened was there was an executive order made by the president which allowed them to basically consume all those and like reduce them into these smaller portions. And that's kind of the theory of where we think that's why the 90s alternative rock scene, grunge, active rock, whatever you want to call it, started to slip away because those conglomerates being pulled together like that. Obviously they want to steer the direction of the art so that they know it's going to do good. So a lot of these bands like change. Like I really feel that like Creed went to that alternative rock in their last album. They really tried to push for that kind of new metal feel because that's what was popular at the time. Stuff like Tool and Korn and Slipknot, like these these new metal kind of bands, Limp Bizkit. So I think somewhere along those lines, between a coming up genre, the taking all of those companies and bringing them down into like 5 or 6 different companies from how many were out there. And obviously the whole pop mentality of trying to make everybody sound like everybody else at that time so they can get the money as quickly as possible before that genre like changes, or the way that the people sing becomes different. They go, oh crap, okay, we got to get more people that sing that way now. And so they go out and they try to find those people and they bring them in.
All right.
But anyways, let's talk about so we talked a lot about music. Let's talk about music, movies and television before we get on to our off topic, which we like to do at the end.
What's the off topic?
Well, we're not going to talk about the off topic right now. So what are some of the stuff that we finished lately as a couple? I hope I'm not draining your brain. I apologize. I'm just really hyper right now.
My eyes are watering.
Something about the caffeine I think is just hitting my bloodstream. Got my Pepsi. It's not Pepsi, but it's my Pepsi.
All right, is that Galifianakis?
Does that sound like Zach Galifianakis? It kind of does, doesn't it?
When you're like you imitating his, yeah. Anyway, okay, so
what did we finish over the last couple of weeks? I know it's been a few weeks since we did a podcast, so we've finished a couple of things.
We finished Cobra Kai.
Yes, we did finish Cobra Kai. What are your thoughts on Cobra Kai overall?
Okay, so sometimes it is so incredibly cheesy, like ridiculously cheesy, and some of the fighting scenes are ridiculously obvious that it's choreographed.
Those poor kids like trying to do karate and like trying not to hurt themselves in the process. Like, oh goodness gracious, none of them have stunt doubles. They're just doing their own stunts.
Okay. So yeah, it's so and Kreese, his character just makes me sick.
Yeah, he is the embodiment of a snake. Like,
the actor, like,
he acts so smooth and he talks.
He thinks
so
he's,
light.
But I'm just like, shut up. ugh. But he's obviously doing a good job because that's how you're supposed to feel about him.
Yeah, he's like, as my Mima would say, is that, he's a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. But, like, I think it's fun. It's totally nostalgic for me because, I was born in the 80s.
Yeah, Karate Kid. Yeah.
I grew up with Karate Kid, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 80. It came out in 83 and 84. And so, like, I grew up watching those.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very nostalgic. But there's some things that really bug me about it, but for the most part, it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, and we started watching it because our kiddo asked to watch it with us.
Yeah.
And you would watch
So we watched, like, I think we saw, like, Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 2. Obviously, we didn't do the new Karate Kid or Karate Jaden Smith.
Yeah, we watched those movies,
Yeah.
and then we started Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And, like, Johnny is a decent guy, but he's just a drunk
like a struggling he's just like a struggling parent that he just like never really got out of the 80s. He just like is stuck there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like,
and like he makes people my age look really stupid when it comes to the
technology.
Technology.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh my goodness. Yeah.
How? Like, well, and he's not my age. I mean, he's older.
Yeah,
so he's like in his 50s, but still, that's still.
Yeah.
I feel like
it shows people in their 40s and 50s like how disconnected they are from technology.
Well, they would have been in their 50s because if it was they were 17 in 84, so they're like in their 50s.
Yeah, so they're in their 50s.
Late 50s.
But still, I mean, I feel like the story and like the character progressions of season 1 was really good. I feel like season 2 was decent. I feel like season 3, I feel like they tried to do too much. Like, I feel like
maybe
I feel like they're, well, especially, spoiler alert, when Johnny Lawrence broke off from Cobra Kai and started his own Eagle Fang karate, and then Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang karate, they're trying to join forces against the Cobra Kais, and then the final fight scene was just like, okay, we can clearly see that you guys tried really hard to do more than you really should have. It's like, these kids obviously do not know how to do stunt karate or anything like that. It doesn't look good. You can tell they're holding their punches.
Well, you can tell who in the scene are like the expert karate people that they've used as extras to make the scene. You know what I mean?
A little bit more exciting. Yeah.
You can tell because they're like totally like, like
or all you see is the back of their head, and like all of a sudden their karate is like 90 times better, and you're like, okay, this is a stunt double.
But you can totally tell. But like, no, even like the non-speaking Cobra Kai guys.
Yeah,
and, you can tell that they're the professional karate people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cheesy, but I feel like they went overboard with the nostalgia and like really trying to bring back the first and second Karate Kids into season 3. And I'm like, and I get it. Like, I get it. You want to draw the people that love the Karate Kid movies to bring that back in a series. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, I feel like they're limiting themselves in a way, because it's like, okay, we gotta like, bring all this stuff back and make it work with the story.
No, I don't know.
No?
I think they're just trying to make it something that can be enjoyed by parents and teens. Like, so it can be something that like they enjoy together, right? Like, it's got that nostalgia piece for old folks like us. But it's got like the
teenage angst and drama going on,
for
and
all the teens and preteens out there. However, it is very like they use language in that I was not anticipating.
Yeah, I feel like they were really pushing the boundaries of the TV-14. Yeah,
and like there's a lot of language that I was like, really? This is like for...
Well, rated R is what? Like 16 and over?
17.
17 and over?
Yep.
So...
And anything mature is 18 and over, but like...
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're really pushing the boundaries on that, huh? With their language.
Yeah, like, did they say the C word in that movie? In that?
I don't remember. We could Google it.
Oh, no, I don't know. I know for sure they said the F word. And
yeah, that was kind of surprising. I was just like, I thought this was TV-14. But then again, we don't understand how ratings work. So it's like, what is and what is not acceptable? What, how many F words can you say before it's like, oh, we got to put it up to mature now? We don't
R.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, with streaming stuff, it doesn't have R rating. It's mature. It's like the R.
No, there's
TV-14 is like PG-13. Well, the films, but as far as like the streaming, like TV series, like it's rated different. Like the rating system's like different. But I really enjoyed it. Like, I feel like season 3 they tried to put in too much, and I feel like they should have kind of simplified it a little bit more.
Okay, so it was.
But overall, I think it was very enjoyable.
It's entertaining for entertainment's sake.
But I wouldn't say, okay, this is the series I'm going to die on. This is the series. No other series are good except for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, no.
No, I can't do that.
No, because there's TV shows that you like to watch because they stimulate you, your mind, and make you think, right? Like docuseries or all this stuff. But Cobra Kai is
docuseries.
I know, but Cobra Kai is strictly I'm just gonna watch this to be entertained and nothing else.
Yeah, yeah, it's like what you would call popcorn films.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's just maybe to. Yeah. I think I watch it ironically.
It's just fun to watch, and I know they kind of push a little bit of identity politics and stuff in there, but it's kind of whatever. It's being pushed into everything, and that's honestly the least amount I've seen in quite a while in a series, and so it was kind of refreshing in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's very irreverent in a lot of ways too. Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's I would put this at a 90 or 95%, but I would say that it's good enough to sit down and watch. I think young adults and adults alike would enjoy watching it for sure.
I wouldn't say young kids. I would say teens.
I said young adults.
I thought you said young kids.
No, I said young adults and adults.
No, I'm sure you said kids.
No, I did not say kids. And if I did, I apologize. I meant young adults. So
we can always just
late
take
teens.
the camera back and just check
and just check it out. It's all good. But yeah, I think it's good. Lock and Key was a very interesting series.
It startled me.
It was
I got startled, jump scares a couple of times. Yeah,
because you're not expecting it. You feel like it's more of a mystery, not like horror, but then it has horror elements. It's really creepy seeing the keyholes in under their chin or in the back of their neck, and you're just what is happening right now? Okay, they're sticking what is going on?
What is so cool though is I like that because it is such an imaginative show.
Right? Yeah.
And I like it because it was because I'd be ooh, what would I do if I had that key? Where would I go if I had that anywhere?
It makes you think because of the
cool
because of the world that it provides.
Yeah, it would be cool to think of what I would do.
Well, and I think that's what really makes it a really decent series. I definitely would say it's better than Cobra Kai for sure, because it is imaginative. But the storylines imaginative. Excuse me. Yeah, imaginative.
You missed a syllable.
That's because sometimes my mind works faster than my mouth, and so that's when I start mumbling and slurring words because I try to talk faster than what my mind is thinking, and it's just kind of good. But I did notice that a lot of the things that were happening in the storyline was fairly predictable. There was many times I was okay, it's going to happen this, and this way.
Yeah, we took.
And then I go, that was almost exactly how I just said it.
And
you did that too.
I said it first. I called the ending first.
You did call the ending, but I'm talking about some of the other times during the first few episodes and in the middle
that's very
of the season.
Yeah.
I was okay, this is what's going to happen here, then sure enough, it happened. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, and honestly, like, I think for a lot of people, I think very like smart people, that's tough for them to have.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you know exactly what's going to happen, you're just like, well, then why am I even watching this?
My best friend Melinda, she figured stuff out.
Yeah, very smart person. Yeah,
she's very good at figuring out the endings very quick.
Because she catches a lot of the stuff, like the stuff that kind of precedes everything that happens towards, you know, the next parts. And so she goes, because this and this happened, this and this is going to occur.
Yep.
Which is really awesome.
But she reads a lot of mystery novels.
Yeah.
So she
can kind of...
And she loves, like, crime shows and stuff. So she loves that whole, like...
That genre,
taking things apart and stuff. So I think she... But she always figures out
okay, my feet are under there, so let me take them out real quick. I didn't want you to squish my feet.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Lock and Key. I'm really excited for season 2.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Stranger Things?
It had 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing a 4th.
I don't think they picked up a 4th, did they? See, this is why we need a Joogle.
This is Netflix, so Netflix is notorious for canceling crap. They canceled AI.
Oh, I was really waiting.
No, it's not AI. What was it?
No, it was
OA.
OA.
The OA.
Yeah. Like,
it was a trippy ass show.
Yeah, it was really interesting and very compelling, but then I felt like they didn't.
The season was crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like it was kind of like watching Lost. Like, they couldn't get to like the next part. Like, they always had to be like diverted to do something else or do this, do that. But then you never really saw what was like ended up going on in the background.
Yeah.
You know? Like the OA, like, always preface like there was something else underlying going on, but you never got to see it. And that's kind of what made it interesting. But by the second season, I was expecting to like know what the heck this person is. Like, is she like an angel of God? Is she some kind of astral projection from another dimension? Like,
it was so trippy.
It was so trippy. Like, you didn't know what was going on.
Dude, I bet if somebody got high and watched that, they would flip out. Because it was such a weird show, like, even just watching it just regular, but I'm just thinking, if somebody were high and to sit and, like, binge watch that,
what's happening right now?
It would be so trippy.
Am I in reality, or is this just another life that I'm living?
Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting series.
Back to Stranger Things. They do have a season 4 slated to come out in 2021.
Probably pushed back from all the COVID stuff that happened this last year.
Because the last season came out in 2019.
Yeah.
So
they definitely waited quite a bit. Yeah, I think it was probably the COVID thing, but I struggled with the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Like, the identity politics and, like, you know, all this other stuff started being put into it. Like, you know, let's hate on men, like, girls are badasses, which girls are. But I just, like, it got to the point where I was just like, okay, we get it. Old white men are bad, like, women good. Can we please continue with the story?
You're getting into identity stuff.
I know. It's just so prevalent in the film. Like, in the multimedia, like, realm, it's just so rampant and prevalent. It's even seeping into are games, like video games and stuff like that, which I'm just like, okay, like, I get it, but make your own game, make your own video, make your own film, make your own music. Like, don't try to push it into mainstream stuff just because you feel like it needs to be. But anyway, that's my opinion. But I'll still watch it because, like, season 1 and season 2 were really good. Like, really good. Especially season 1. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my next favorite series. Then season 2, I was like, okay, it's still good. I kind of see where they're going with this. Let's see, if they can take it in a good direction for season 3. And then season 3, I was like, okay, I think I'm almost done with this series. Like, I don't think I want to watch it anymore.
I don't know.
But I still will.
Hopper, and that made me mad.
Yeah.
That made me mad.
But they could just somehow bring him back. Like, he's out wandering the underside for some strange reason. Like, he got pulled in or something. And they can just bring him back. Like, they could if they wanted to. But he's definitely one of my most interesting characters. Very gritty, very gruff.
But here's the thing. In season 1 and 2, I liked him. But in season 3, he seemed different.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the actor anyway. I'm not going to go there.
Didn't like his acting, or?
No, I think the actor kind of started getting a big head, and so he started acting differently a little bit. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Well, this is just our thoughts and opinions. Like, it's all, like, this is all subjective. Like, this is, like, we're not, like, talking about a lot of hard facts here. We're just talking about our thoughts and feelings. Dogs. Knock it off under there.
Funny.
There's plenty of room for everybody here.
Hey,
they just got to be in each other's space sometimes, it seems.
Go your place.
I think they're just playing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just those are playing sounds. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's playing. But I'm excited to see it.
We did rewatch. We are rewatching Outlander.
Yes, we are. For the 3rd time now?
No, the 2nd.
Well, my 2nd for sure, but I think this is your 3rd time rewatching it.
No, well,
I want to say it is.
I've watched seasons 1 through 4 3 times, but I haven't watched 5 and 6 or season 5 3 times. I've only seen season 5.
Yeah.
Once. 4 and 5 I've only seen once. So this
are they doing another season?
Yes.
They are? Okay, cool.
Of course.
Again, one of those series I had to buy into, but like by the 3rd or 4th season I was like, okay, I'm into this. This is pretty interesting. Even though it's like a sappy romantic novel playing out on the big screen, or on a series, excuse me.
Sam Hagen. Okay.
He's a very handsome man. I agree with you.
Oh my gosh. I want to go to Scotland. He is a very handsome man. But I don't feel bad saying that because I know you got a crush on
Brianna. Yeah, Brianna. It's the red hair. The fire red hair gets me every time. It got me with what's her name? Gretchen? No, not Gretchen. No. From Game of Thrones. You don't know nothing, Jon Snow. That girl.
Oh yeah, they're married in real life.
Is it Gretchen? Is that her?
No.
No.
The character's name was not
remember. Gretchen.
It wasn't Gretchen.
That sounds wrong. It's been a while since we've seen it.
Now we're gonna have to start Game of Thrones over.
Oh no. We already talked about rewatching all of the Marvel movies in succession again.
I can't do that.
What? What are you talking about? We had so much fun doing that. We did that in less than a 2-week period. We had a blast. We had like 2 movies a night. Oh, it was awesome. It was 16, 17 films?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't know. A lot.
Oh, Iron Man's was always my favorite.
That was a big time investment.
Yes, it was. This is true. Ooh. So, okay, let's move on to our off topic. We're already about an hour, 20 minutes into it. So let's go ahead and move on to our off topic. We're doing great. We're moving. So let's talk a little bit about Doordash and Uber Eats, like just mainly the e-delivery companies. What are your thoughts on them?
We are all over the place tonight.
No, this is good. I mean, it probably feels a little squirrelish to other people. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Now back to our topic.
So, knowing some restaurant owners, I know that it made it very hard for them, especially during COVID, because they charged the restaurant so much.
Yeah.
So they charge the restaurant a fee to even be present on the app.
Yep. And that's like a monthly fee or like a yearly, like annual fee or something
I don't know.
like
It's
that.
based off of contract. Maybe it's based off of like volume. I don't know.
Well, it depends. There was actually a lawsuit against DoorDash. I don't know if ever it got resolved or anything. There was some allegations against them with their practices, like with the merchants and with delivery drivers. There was like a big hoopla about it out in...
not giving them their tips.
Well, I don't know if it was about not giving their tips, but there was definitely something going on where there's some shenanigans happening and people weren't getting what they were supposed to get or something like that.
Well,
but you're right. So they charge the merchant like an annual fee or like a monthly fee, and then on top of that, they ask for like a percentage off of each delivery or each pickup.
The gross profit of the items.
Mm-hmm.
So, but by the time like they take their fees and their cut, plus like you have to pay. So the person who's getting it delivered pays a delivery fee that goes to the driver. But they take other fees on top of that. Like in addition to that, the customer pays.
Yep.
And then you're expected to give a tip, which I don't mind giving. I don't mind giving a tip at all.
Right.
I'd rather give a tip than pay a fee. But it bothers me because they're making bank, and the whole COVID situation just made it
more
possible.
More predatory a little bit.
I feel like it did, because it was the only way restaurants were even surviving.
Right.
You know, and so they feel they could, like, I don't know, and I could be totally off base, but...
Well, again, we're just expressing our thoughts and opinions. We're not alleging, we're not saying, yes, this is the truth or anything like that, but from what we understand, what we've read, not only from their DoorDash, like, Uber Eats website, but also, you know, asking the merchants, like you said, you know some people who actually have... these different applications and what they're charging and stuff like that, and that's something that is really interesting too. I feel like they're kind of double dipping a little bit, not only on the merchant side but also on the driver's side or the customer side, you know, for the driver. So they have like a flat, like kind of like a flat fee depending on the distance, and then there's like a percentage on top of that.
Yeah, because you have to pay a percentage of
the meal, like for some reason that's like the thing. And then
taxes.
And then you're expected to give a tip. Like you're not gonna make much money doing $3 and $4 like trips. Like, let's be honest. These dogs, they love playing. What can I say?
Yeah.
They don't get to go downstairs very often, so they're really excited to hang out with us and stuff.
But do I appreciate the fact that that's a service and it's made complete ease? Like, it solved a lot of stuff. Yeah. I do, and
it's very convenient.
I think
it's a good service. Like,
well, yeah, and I think it kept a lot of restaurants open that otherwise would have like completely died.
Yeah, but
even though that's still happening, but I feel like it would have been much worse if that service wasn't available for restaurants to be able to provide to their customers.
Well, and it just sucks that, like, you know, there's like a monthly or annual fee. On top of that, there's a percentage off of, you know, what the meal costs, and then. And the food industry, like, the margins are very low as it is, you know, with turning around like meals and stuff like that from like the raw ingredients. Am I off base with that, or
no?
Because that's why, like, they're not like they're not like paying people like hourly, as far as, like, you know, minimum wage and stuff like that. They're paid at a very low rate hourly, and then they basically hope and pray that people leave decent enough tips that it makes up for all of that.
Right. Well, and
that's just part of the industry.
To be fair, like, they do have to keep up with like updates and stuff, so they have to plan for that. But then customer service, there is a cost with that and everything.
Yeah.
But and like, I know it probably takes a lot of money, but they are making bank.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a really smart app. I definitely, you know, feel like the ease of the apps, like DoorDash definitely has it down. As far as like the ease portion of it for ordering and
Well, and I can't bash either of them too bad either because
we use them all the time.
we use them. Well, yeah, as customers, but then also you're a dasher.
Yeah.
So it helps provide. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, how do you think you would do it differently?
I don't think I would.
You don't have any opinion one way or the other how you want to do it differently?
No, because that's not... Like, if I was inclined to do that type of thing, I'd probably already make an app and have it making billions of dollars by now, but that's not where I put my brain space. So
we're here doing a podcast in our basement, and we're throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Oh my God.
But we're having fun doing it, right?
Nerd.
Gay. Just kidding.
Oh, great. Now we're going to get canceled.
No, we're not going to. We need to stop saying that. We're not going to get canceled. I feel like every episode now we talk about, we're probably going to get canceled.
Well, because you're saying stuff and I'm like, watch, they're going to flag it.
It's entertainment. Like, honestly, people, if you're listening to this, don't take us seriously. Like, we're just talking out of our butts. We're just hoping that it sounds interesting and people like it. They're entertained and they come back, watch another one. That's all we're looking for.
Yep,
that's what we're doing. I really don't think that they should ask for money from the customer after they've already asked money from the merchant.
I agree.
I feel like it's a double dip. I feel like all the money that would be made from the Dash, as far as like the driver fees and like the application fees and stuff like that, I feel like that should go to the driver. Like, I mean, it's decent enough, but I know there's places out there where, you know, they have to drive like forever. Like when I was working at it in Phoenix, around Peoria and Glendale areas, I was driving sometimes like 15, 20 minutes just to get to one. And then another 5 or 10 minutes to where I had to drop it off. So sometimes I was driving 30 to 45 minutes just for one delivery. Now, a lot of times I was given a little bit more. Like there were some deliveries I was doing 12, 14. I think I did one that was like 25 sometimes. But with all of that driving and stuff like that, the wear and tear on your vehicle.
Yeah, this is why I've encouraged you to find a job where you don't have to utilize your vehicle.
I know,
Again,
and as soon as we can find one in our little town, I would love to do that.
This has been my argument since this started.
Well,
and I'm so glad that
keep
it's
looking.
Finally sunk in to the point where you understand.
No, I do understand. I really do. I never did not understand. But I like, if I was going to do it differently, like, I do feel like they need to ease up. Like, if they're doing a monthly fee and like a per pickup fee, I feel like that's too much. I feel like they either need to do a monthly or they need to do per delivery. They just need to do one or the other and make it easy and simple for the merchants. Like, I feel like that's too much. I feel like the margins are so small within the food industry that I feel like, you know, they could make a little bit better profit if they just kind of cut that back a little bit. And honestly, it wouldn't cost them billions. And I really feel,
with our expansive knowledge on how,
which is very little,
macroeconomics work,
we're doing our best guesswork.
We're just spouting off a bunch of bullshit.
Sometimes, yeah. That's okay. So I would do that because they could afford it. And I feel like on the customer side, all that money, the upfront, like, I feel it should be like a flat fee of like $6. And so they could be like $4 for the main delivery, and you already start out with a $2 tip from that. And then, like, once you receive your food, you'll get a little notification that says, please open the app to confirm you've received your food. And confirm, be like, how did your guy do? He did a 5. Great. We're going to give him a $2 tip. How much more would you like to give him? And then you can increase it from there. So not only would it, you know, confirm that the customer got their food, because, it really bugs me when I hand somebody their food when it asks them to leave it at the door. Like they come outside, or if they're outside washing their car, or like, you know, it says leave at their door, but then the secondary special delivery instruction says to hand to customer. So like sometimes I hand to the customers where on our side it actually asks us to take a picture and leave it at the door. And so if you don't do that and you just say hand it to customer, it doesn't require you to do a picture, and it'll say, okay, great, we will contact the customer to confirm that they got their food. It's like, why would you need to call to confirm that they got their food?
Probably
just have a notification.
They were having a lot of customers try and work the system.
Oh, all the time.
But that's, you know, that's another
not all
thing.
The time. It's
a
very small percentage, I should say.
But here's the other thing is, like, they probably have to pay that back. There's loss associated with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And stuff. So the operating of DoorDash is probably a lot more comprehensive than what we know, and probably costs more than what we know, considering
for sure.
they have to. And there's losses, right? So, like, if customers don't pay or whatever, they're responsible for the refund, not the restaurant. So there's that.
I get that. But what I'm saying is that, like, they don't need to contact the customer directly. All they need to do is to have a notification pop up, open up the app to confirm you received your food, and then from there, confirm you got the food. They don't have to make the phone call now. It gives you the option to rate your person, your delivery driver, and then say, hey, we'd like to give them a tip. We're going to start at $2. We're going to give them $2. That's from the fee, right? Mm-hmm. That I was talking about, like, if I was going to do it. Like, we're going to go ahead and give them $2 because they did a great job. Like, would you like to add more? And then from there, you can add more. And you get the tip afterwards.
I think that might have been what they were getting in trouble for, though.
Why would they get in trouble for that?
Because it had something to do with the tips being counted towards the fee rather than giving them the fee plus the tips.
I'm trying to remember because I read that article like literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I wish we did the podcast a lot earlier because I probably would remember what was on that particular article. But I think it had something to do not with so much of they. I think again allegedly. From what I understand, like trying to remember, is that they were hiding the fact that they were or were not going to get a tip. I think that was the issue where, like, you know, like it pops up and it says, hey, you have something you can pick up. You know, it's $6.50. Would you like it? And you can accept or decline. I think what was happening is on their end, either the algorithm was working or was not working, or maybe they made it do it, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But I think what was happening is that they weren't showing the tips, or they weren't showing the total amount that they were earning from that pickup. And I think that's where they were getting in trouble, because either the algorithm was working or it wasn't working as intended. Something happened. Again, this is weeks out of my memory right at this point, and I've moved on with my life. But I think that's what was happening, is it just wasn't giving them the full understanding of how much it was. And I think it needs to go back to, you know, you got the base pay, you know, and then when you're done, then they can tip you and you get whatever you get out of those tips. But it is nice to know, like from a Dasher's standpoint, knowing, okay, if I do this, I'm going to earn, you know, $8.50, like, period. They've already given the tip. They've already paid the upfront delivery costs. Boom, that's what you're getting paid. That's really nice, because then it really lets me know whether I'm going to pick it up or not. Something I didn't really like about Postmates is that it just says, hey, there's a delivery. Do you want it? But it doesn't give you the amount that you're going to make. It doesn't give you the amount that you're going to get on the tips. Like, I feel like, I don't know if it just needs like some litigation or like get the government involved or whatever, but I feel like something needs to be done where everybody does the same thing, and we need to make it where we could utilize any app we want while we're doing it. That's what I don't like about DoorDash, is because they have all these crazy like ratings, and they have like these pickup times, drop off times, and you're expected to do it within 5 minutes of those times. And if something happens, or like let's say you're dual or triple apping, and you ended up getting another delivery pickup, and you go a little bit outside that time, then it hurts your rating and it hurts your opportunity to have top dasher, which is really important because you can dash at any time you want instead of scheduling a time, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I would do differently on the whole DoorDash Uber Eats thing.
Okay.
I like Uber Eats because it gives you that freedom. Like, it doesn't give you it doesn't say, okay, you have to pick up by this time. Okay, you have to drop off by this time. And if you're outside of those 5 minutes, that's it. You get a strike against you. I think they call them, what do they call them? Some kind of strike against your contract violation. That's what they call it. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for just a moment, but I don't know. My mind's weird today. So you get a contract violation, right?
Right.
And then you have to wait until you deliver 100 deliveries, which for some people that's a week. Some people that's 2 months. Like, yeah, it could take a while to get that off of your.
They evaluate it on a monthly basis too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you get that right before it's evaluated, if your thing dips right before it's evaluated, then you're stuck without that status for a whole month.
Yeah. Yeah, and that could potentially deactivate your account and you have to start over with a new one. Which would suck. Because, like, I almost have, like, 3,000 deliveries on DoorDash.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I didn't realize I did that many. I looked at it before, and it was, like 2,800. And I was like, whoa. That's a lot of dashing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But, I mean, overall, like, I think it's good. I mean, I obviously, I feel like, and you feel like it could be better. We're just two people trying to change the world here.
Yep. One
podcast at a time. For those who didn't see it because you didn't watch it on the video portion, I gave a thumbs up and I gave a cheesy grin to the camera.
So that was our off topic?
That was our off topic, yeah, was DoorDash and Uber Eats. But I really do enjoy the service. Like, it's nice. Like, even though I have to pay like 7, 8, sometimes $10 in fees and in delivery charges and stuff, like, it's nice to be able to just order it and like you can just go about your evening and do whatever, and then like, oh, hey, it's here. Now we can eat. It's actually very convenient. It's a really nice service, especially people who like are disabled, for whatever reason they can't get out of the house.
It's so expensive. That's the hard thing.
It can get expensive. Well, and that's what's really nice about DoorDash is they have that Dash Pass where you can just play the monthly.
Does Uber.
Oh, Uber has that too?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. We don't get a lot of Uber Eats, so I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can reduce some of your fees if you use it enough. But that's the thing, is like if you only do it like once or twice a month, like it's not worth it to get the Dash Pass or whatever. But if you're doing it like anywhere between like 6 to 10 times in a month, then it's like, oh wow, I save money on this.
It's called an Eats Pass for Uber.
Eats Pass, okay. Well, that makes sense because I know they're all trying to outdo each other. But I feel like they need to take off those pick up and drop off times.
Dude, Hong Kong Buffet has a 49-cent delivery fee on Uber.
Wow. We're trying to get more people to order from there. See, that's kind of nice too, is they could do deals like that to encourage people to order from different places. But my question is, well, how much are they charging on the merchant side to make up for that?
Exactly.
That's the other thing that I'm kind of worried about.
So I think the merchants have to pay.
They probably have to pay a premium to get their stuff like that. Like, only free delivery. And then, like, if I was the merchant, like, if I knew that I was going to be losing, like 40, 50, 60% of the overall profit of that individual order, like, I would raise my prices for DoorDash and Uber Eats. Like, I wouldn't even bother like having it the same price, because at that point it's not even
But
worth
I
it.
think that
Or
they
as worth it.
have to keep the pricing the same.
That doesn't make any sense.
The restaurant
That
has
sounds
to
like
keep the
bad
pricing.
business to me.
No, the restaurant has to keep the pricing the same.
Yeah, that sounds like bad business to me.
No, it's bad business for them to charge so much.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, yeah,
But then, like, it doesn't motivate people to use the app then, because they're like, well, I'll just order to go.
yeah, and it's a vicious cycle. So basically, they lose out on a lot of those profits with those all those delivery charges and, and monthly fees. And then that gets kicked back to everybody else. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, that sounds like such a bad business. Because if you're losing, I mean, again, this is just from our small town understanding brains here.
We're not stupid.
No, we're not stupid. We're reasonable. We're reasonably smart. And
I'm a freaking
and we
genius.
English good, okay? We English good.
Dude, don't be dragging me down with you.
Well, that is why I married you, because you were such a smart cookie.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
But this cookie's getting tired.
And this cookie's getting tired. Do you feel like this is a good place to stop?
Yeah, I think
Feels
so.
good?
I
Okay.
think so.
Well, hey, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. We hope everything goes well for you. Sweetheart, thank you so much for being my co-host.
You're
I really
welcome.
do appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing me down some chocolate.
Absolutely. And you got some spaghetti and some...
I didn't eat spaghetti on air.
No, you did not. But
I was hungry. I hadn't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you guys all take care, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Yay!